Hello and welcome to Post to Post, the channel where we discuss all things hockey and all teams. In the past couple of days, there's been some trades, there's been some drafts by Las Vegas. You know, we haven't really had a chance to make a video about it yet. This is the first chance we had to connect and talk about this. But we want to talk about the trades because they are really interesting. And I want to start off with Edmonton and the Islanders because the Edmonton Oilers acquired Ryan Strome for Jordan Eberle. And at first, I thought, okay, Eberle's been in the rumors for like the past 4 years, I think. It's been every single year there's been rumors about Eberle being traded. And finally happened, so I was like, wow, is this a joke or did this actually happen? It actually happened, and I think this is an okay trade for both teams. You know, the Islanders get help for Tavares. Eberle is a right winger, Tavares is a center. I assume they'll probably try them on the same line starting out, and then Edmonton, you know, they release about like $3.5 million in cap space. And Ryan Strome's an RFA until 2018-2019, and so they get cap space, in which they desperately need because they have to sign McDavid and a few others soon. So I think the trade works well for both teams. What's your thoughts?
Well, first off, I think Jordan Eberle was overpaid.
I agree.
Yeah, drastically overpaid. He was a $6 million player. Last year, he put up 51 points. Well, I shouldn't say last year. This season, he put up 51 points. Is 51 points worth $6 million? You know, I really don't think so. $6 million is a very high-end, lucrative contract for Jordan Eberle. And to me, it was strategic on Edmonton's part to free up cap space. Yep. And to me, there's an upside to Ryan Strome. I think he's going to develop more over the next several years, and he's going to just increase his production with the Edmonton Oilers, in my opinion. Also, you know, the Islanders taking a chance on Jordan Eberle, it could pay off.
It could.
Or it could not pay off. I mean, if we look at the playoffs, when Edmonton was in the playoffs, what did they get out of Jordan Eberle? To me, it was a big fat zero.
Yeah.
You know, a big fat zero. And my interest in Jordan Eberle as a player, you know, I always remembered him as being that world junior specialist. Yeah. You know, the magic that he brought to Team Canada those years ago. You know, it kind of went down a little bit based on his awful production in playoffs. And I think that's what really killed his ability to stay with the Edmonton franchise, in my opinion. That playoff performance was abysmal.
Sometimes players just need a change of scenery. And I'm wondering if this is actually a good thing for Eberle. He becomes a UFA in 2019, 2020, so you know he's making $6 million for the next couple of years, which is great for him financially. Yep. I don't know if he's going to get the same contract once that one's done. We'll see how he plays in the Islanders.
He's going to have to play for it.
It could be a great thing. You know, sometimes players just fit, and maybe Tavares and Eberle will, but yeah, so...
Well, perfect example. Look at Eric Stahl with the Rangers. The guy couldn't really get anything done. He goes to Minnesota. He rejuvenated his career. This could be, you know, the opportunity Eberle's been waiting for quite some time, and suddenly he could have amazing success.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope he does. I mean, I like him as a human and then whatnot. He's a good guy. It's just that, you know, things weren't really working out for him in Edmonton, in my opinion. Especially with that contract. He was overpaid for the production they got out of him.
All right, moving on to the Montreal-Las Vegas Knights trade. So Montreal acquired David Schlemko for a 5th-round 2019 pick. So basically, Montreal got an Emelin replacement, and they gained $2 million in cap space. And the Vegas Golden Knights got, you know, what they wanted, which was, I guess, building for the future. But honestly, this trade doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand it. Yeah. I think Bergevin got a steal on this one. And I don't understand why Vegas would have chosen Schlemko just to trade him for a 5th-round pick. Like that doesn't make sense to me. I'm not really sure. And I would classify Schlemko as a top 6 solid defenseman who would have been great in Las Vegas. And then they trade him? It doesn't make sense to me.
No, it's a little odd. I mean, you saw a lot of insiders stating that Vegas is more interested in draft picks at this time than actual players. You know, it's all build for the future.
Which makes sense.
But yeah, but I mean, a 5th round? I mean, geez. You'd think they'd aim a little higher. I mean, is Schlemko really only worth that? I disagree.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
I don't know. This one just kind of came out of left field and was quite surprising, to be honest. But again, you know, it's all about cap space. Cap space is a big thing.
Yep, they trying to get rid of cap space now, even though they just picked their team. It's a crazy situation. Okay, let's move on to Carolina and the Las Vegas Knights. So Carolina acquired Trevor Van Riemsdyk for a 2nd-round pick. Trevor Van Riemsdyk makes $1,000 a year. He's 25, I believe, and he becomes an RFA. He's an RFA in 2018, 2019. So Las Vegas, again, gets a pick building for the future. I think a second-round pick is pretty good for them. And Carolina gets an experienced defenseman. Now, there's been rumors recently that Ben Riemsdyk is going to get flipped by Carolina and get traded again. I think this is bogus. I think he stays in Carolina. I don't believe that rumor at all. And I think this was a great trade for Carolina. They get a solid, experienced defenseman. I think Carolina could be pretty dangerous in the next maybe 3 or 4 years.
They're stockpiling some young talent in Carolina, in my opinion. And I think Carolina could really use a guy like this. So I think this was a good move on their part. But if you're saying it's true, about him being flipped again, my goodness. I mean, this just becomes a head scratcher if that actually happens. I doubt it does, in my opinion. But again, Vegas is just stockpiling these draft picks. I'd like to see a list of all the draft picks Vegas has already in their back pocket for next year and maybe even the year after.
Yeah, I'll have to go to Cap Friendly and check.
Yeah, it would be scary because they are stockpiling draft picks. And that was the rumor going into the expansion draft. Draft picks. That's what they were after.
That's what they need to do. I mean, they're a new team. They need to grow their team through youth.
Yep.
So I mean, smart on them for doing it. It's just some of the trades are a little questionable. I think I would have guessed maybe a third-round pick for Trevor Van Riemsdyk. I think a second is maybe a little too much, but I'm still okay with it. Okay, the last topic of this video is going to be the Dave Tippett firing in Arizona. He was the second longest tenured coach in the league, just behind Quenneville. He's been the coach of the Coyotes since 2009, I believe. This doesn't really surprise me because I do like Tippett, but I mean, Arizona hasn't done anything forever, really.
Yeah.
So changes need to be made. Not really sure what's going on with that organization. They let go Doan, now Tippett.
Yeah.
What's going on in Arizona?
Change of scenery. I think Arizona really, really needs it, and it all started with the Shane Doan incident. Sadly, given Doan's age, I think it's time to move on from Shane Doan. That's no discredit to him. He's an amazing individual, and he's a heart and soul guy because he's had opportunities in the past to leave Arizona and potentially pursue a Stanley Cup, but he opted to stick around. He's a heart and soul guy. However, every dog has its day. It's like a Ginla in Calgary. He moved on. Now we have Shane Doan in Arizona. It happens. And sadly, Shane Doan's going to be finishing his career elsewhere, and he's closing in on 1,000 points. And I honestly think, that's in the back of his mind. He wants to hit that big number. But as for Dave Tippett, that's the other tip of the iceberg. Change of scenery. And Arizona's going to be focusing on the future. They're going to be bringing in someone else, and with that comes, of course, a new mentality, new system, and Arizona's thinking ahead. And to get there, a lot of times, the head coach is one of the first guys.
Yeah, definitely. Where do you think Tippett's going to end up? I have a feeling he's going to go to the East Coast, and I don't think he's going to be out of a job for too long. He's a very good coach.
Yeah, he is.
I don't think he was given the team in front of him to do what he needed to do. I think for some reason, I keep thinking Florida, maybe assistant coach, maybe the Islanders or something like that. Somewhere on the East Coast. I'm not exactly sure where he's going to land, but hopefully he does land somewhere soon. And just to go back to the Doan situation, do you think Arizona handled that properly? Do you think that they should have let him retire in Arizona?
I think they really should have spoke to him. He's given so many years to that franchise and has given back so much to Arizona. I would have really spoken to him and asked him, what do you want to do? And not just jump the gun and make a decision, that's going to change your organization's future as well as his. I mean, he's done so much. I would respect him to the level of, okay, if he wants to stay, I'd let him stay. But from a business perspective or for building to future perspective, from a GM standpoint, I think it was time.
Yeah, and at the beginning, I gave them the benefit of the doubt. I thought that they spoke to him before, but recently his agent has come out and said that it was handled poorly by the Arizona organization.
Yeah.
So I'm disappointed in them for handling it that way. And I would have thought that Doan would have retired there probably next year, maybe, or the year after. I mean, he is almost 40 or 40. I can't remember exactly, but I'm not sure what's going on in Arizona, but hopefully they get their shit together.
Well, I just hope the relationship between Doan and the Arizona Coyotes doesn't sour, because obviously, the guy's a superstar in Arizona, the organization, and so on. You'd like to see him kind of come back to that organization, and maybe have a front office role someday. The
I'm
guy
sure
is
he will,
obviously very intelligent when it comes to all things hockey. I mean, look at his career. I just really hope that relationship hasn't soured.
Yeah, absolutely. And Shane Doan started out his career kind of playing a different role in hockey, and he evolved his career, as many players do, into what he is today. And he's one of the best leaders in the league, so he's going to be a valuable asset for them off the ice as well in the future, hopefully, or another team maybe down the road. Who knows? Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys very much for watching. We really appreciate this discussion. Justin, thanks for joining me here today. I'm glad we could connect. And we're going to be filming some other videos now, so look at those in the future. If you like this video, hit the like button. That definitely helps us. If you're new to the channel and you want to subscribe, there's a subscribe button down below. That definitely helps as well, and we'll see you in the future. Adios.